Hello, my name is Ishan and welcome back to my podcast. Today we're here with a software engineering manager at Meta for the past 15 years, Ajinkya Kher. How are you doing today, Ajinkya?
I'm doing good, Ishan. How are you?
I'm doing great today too, thank you. So 15 years, that's a lot. So what kind of inspired you to start into the computer science and software field?
It's an interesting question. I think I have to go back several years. Much like your parents here, who are kind of trying to get you into this space, it was my mom who wanted me to come to the US and try out software engineering. I definitely was interested in the field, but the initial push was provided by my mom, right? So I have to credit her for the initial impetus. And then once I got here, I think as things rolled, I slowly, and even till this day, and I'm exploring newer facets of software engineering. So I think the short answer is my mom.
Yeah, my mom also inspires me to computer science. So you're now an engineering manager at Meta. What's your journey been like so far to get here?
Yeah, so I can share a little bit more about my journey. I came here for my master's in 2010 and I graduated from NC State in North Carolina. For a few years I was in Atlanta. That's where I got a couple of jobs. It was in software engineering, but we're in the kind of big tech. So my first break into big tech was in 2016 when I moved here in the Seattle area for Microsoft. And in Microsoft is where I kind of grew both as a software engineer and I got the opportunity to be a software engineering manager. So I kind of look back on my journey at Microsoft as very enriching. I got to kind of don multiple hats along the way. The Microsoft teams, how I got to work on it. Another thing I would note is the software engineering management opportunity was not something I was particularly looking out for. It happened naturally as the team was growing around me, and I happened to be playing that role kind of subconsciously in a way, and then the team was on the lookout for a leader, and that opportunity presented itself and I wanted to give it a try. And it's been kind of 3.5 years now. I've been enjoying this journey as well. It's definitely two different jobs, being a software engineer and being a software engineering manager, but having a good solid technical foundation does help toward that.
So how's life as an engineering manager?
I can tell you a little bit about software engineering manager job in general, right? So it's a good mix of technical expertise as well as people expertise, right? You have essentially you have a business to run, but the business is led by people, and so you have a set of individuals that you manage. Now, human beings are pretty interesting individuals, so to keep each of them individually happy and happy as a group is a job in itself, which is essentially one of the things you primarily do as a software engineering manager. There are a lot of other things that go into it, but how do you build a thriving team, and how do you have all of them focused on the same goal and on the same mission, and at the same time create a fun environment within the team? That is a job of software engineering manager in a nutshell.
Would you say it's kind of similar to maybe a teaching kind of job, because you're kind of making the whole team or the whole classroom stay engaged and having fun, but also completing their work?
There could be some parallels, but there are some differences in that. As a teacher, I haven't my mom used to teach a little bit, so I haven't explored much with the teaching profession myself. So excuse my kind of parallels here. But when you're teaching someone, there is a clear distinction in that you're a teacher and there are students. So you have the liberty to teach them things. Here, everyone is a mature individual, so you don't necessarily get to teach someone. It's past that point, and then you can only inspire them. You can only lead by example. So yes, there is teaching, but there is different ways in which you go about that teaching.
And so you say you've been working through Microsoft and Meta. What do you think was your favorite project between the two that you did?
So definitely a lot of my time has been at Microsoft. So I can give an example from there. I started working on this product known as Microsoft Teams, which is now ubiquitous and used by 300 million plus people everywhere. I'm sure in your schools you will be using it as well. But I started working on this when it was an unknown name even within Microsoft. Everyone at Microsoft used to be on Lync or Skype for Business back then. So it was an idea, and I was lucky enough to be a part of a team that gave shape to this idea. We built it from ground up, and it has been fascinating to see the journey of it. Slowly it became a known name within Microsoft, and then as pandemic hit, that's when it really saw like a rapid adoption and usage.
that was the need of the hour, and I've been proud to be a part of that journey.
And then kind of going back to like the software managing kind of part, like when somebody's facing like an issue in your team, like how do you guys like, what steps do you guys take to kind of solve that like challenge or problem that someone's facing?
Do you have like what kind of challenge?
Like if somebody's like struggling with like a part of their work, or maybe like they're having like a challenge or like a problem with like another coworker, how do you guys like solve those problems?
Yeah, so those are two different situations. So let me try to kind of. So the first one you mentioned is kind of they are not performing to their potential, right? And then kind of that ideally is something that you start observing way early on, even before this person comes to you. The person may or may not come to you, but you start observing these things through different things that you tend to see in a day-to-day kind of sample day at work, right? And over a period of time, you are aware of this well before that person himself or herself is aware of this, right? It is your responsibility to understand what is going on. Are there any other personal factors at play here, or professionally, are there any things that the person is lacking? Does the person not have enough? It's a skill issue. Is it a skill issue, or is it a part of a motivation? Sometimes individuals have all the skills. There is nothing going on the personal front, but they just lack the motivation. Do they have level appropriate work? So there are a lot of things that go into ensuring that people stay motivated at their level. So it's a good manager would prevent the situation from happening in the first place. But of course, like things are not ideal, so things can happen. How do you course correct from that point is going to be important. Right? And the second example that you mentioned about two co-workers not getting along well. Right? This is a very classic problem. As soon as you have like 3 or more than 3 people, there is bound to be disagreements. So how do you build a culture within the team where disagreements are viewed positively is a part of what goes into the role. As well, disagreements are bound to happen, but what is the uber goal that we are working towards? Try to depersonalize the conversations, right? Like be objective about things is what you start coaching from day one, and then hopefully, kind of even if a disagreement emerges, they are equipped with the techniques to come out of that disagreement.
Yeah. And so here's kind of going to a different topic. Like, are there any new like kind of programs or technologies that you are like excited for? Like for me personally, like I've seen a lot of new like videos and like pictures like generated from ChatGPT, which I thought was like really cool. Like because you can like you can add like your favorite celebrity like with you in a picture. Like what about you? Do you have any like?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. Right? Like definitely, there's two that come to mind. AI, like you mentioned, like that's the buzzing word these days everywhere. But I do feel it has the potential to be a groundbreaking technology, right? So I would like to give a long answer to this if that's okay.
Yeah.
Right. Sure. So I have seen technology advance right in front of my eyes. Right? Like I came here for my master's in 2010, and the way I used to communicate with my mom and my parents back in India, I used to call them using a calling card. Right. The way I click pictures on campus and the way I used to share them is through Gmail. WhatsApp came much later. Like audio calling, video calling came much later. Now you have the world at your fingertips. Right? Like this is in the narrow span of my life that I've seen technology evolve in front of my eyes. So in my opinion, there have been kind of all the technological advancements, you could name like a few that were groundbreaking. It's internet, right? The invention of internet. That set the stage for everything else that followed. And the evolution of cloud services and smartphones. They go hand in hand. Right? What made iPhone is the backing of cloud services. Right? After that, there have been like small bursts of innovation, but the next big innovation I feel is going to be either one of AI, which is yet in a very nascent stage. It has not yet kind of evolved to the stage where it is starting to get there, but there is a long way to go. And if it becomes like a thing that gets situated in your everyday life, it's going to be groundbreaking. And the other thing I feel is the way we communicate. Right? It used to be text for a long period of time. Then it was audio files, video files. Now you have reels. There is a lot of video. So that is bound to change as well. There is a lot of investment across different industries. Meta is definitely heavily invested in AR and VR. Right? So augmented reality and virtual reality. That I think so far a lot of progress has been made towards it, but the headsets have been very bulky. Right? They have not been able to be materialized in a way where they become easy to use in your everyday use. Meta Ray-Ban I think is one of the first examples of where it can come in seamlessly into your day-to-day life without you changing much about it. You already wear sunglasses, and this is built right on top of it. So I feel the way this is going to evolve is at one point of time, you won't be sharing images or videos with anyone anymore. You will be sharing experiences. Let's say you go visit Niagara Falls, right, and you want to share it with your girlfriend, let's say, right, who's not there at that point of time. You don't send a picture or a video. You send something like an augmented reality file. She can kind of wear whatever she's wearing and be right there with you, right? So it's I think AI and AR and VR are two things which will be definitely the groundbreaking technologies in my opinion.
I kind of understand what you're kind of talking about, because I personally own a VR headset and I've tried like the Ray-Ban glasses. The difference between those two is like it's kind of the VR, you can like kind of tell that there's something that's like on your head, it's like changing like what you're looking at. But when you wear like those glasses, like it's like so like easily integrated that like you can barely like tell, but it's like it's there.
Right. The biggest thing is to get the resistance out of it. You may have the best out there, but as humans we are very resistant to change.
Yeah.
So how to get into what you do on an everyday basis without you feeling too much about it is going to be like a pathway. Once you enter, then it only evolves from there.
And so, what kind of like advice would you give to like a younger kid like me, or maybe even like you, your past self?
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting time to go into software industry with the landscape changing. I would say like the biggest skill you would need to have is being adaptable. Right? And I think as youngsters, somebody who's coming right out of college, you have that naturally. Right? As opposed to kind of somebody who's been in industry for a long time, they're used to doing things a certain way. That's not going to work. Right? Like it was always good to be adaptable even earlier, but now even it has now even more so. Right? You have to be ready to learn things and you have to be ready to unlearn things as well. There is going to be new ways. The role and responsibilities of a software engineer will change. They are changing as we speak. Right? And 10 years down the line, there will be a whole lot different than what they are now or 10 years from before. But we won't get them. It won't be like suddenly a page is turned. It will happen gradually. So as these things are happening, be aware of what is happening around you. Equip yourself with what you need to succeed as these changes are happening, and then be ready to unlearn. Like I said, that's going to be the key.
And so then for our final question, so if you could go back in time before you kind of decided to go down the software path, would you still go down that path, or would you decide to switch to something like a different kind of?
I would absolutely be in this industry. I love being here. Again, like this is one of those things, right? Like it's not always you have to be knowing what you do from the start. At least in my case, it's the case. Like I said, my mom is the one who introduced me to this. But since then, my love for the area has only kind of evolved, right? And still evolving. There is a whole bunch of problems we can solve by being in this industry. In fact, this is the industry that touches every other industry.
Yeah.
Just yesterday, I went to visit a doctor, and the doctor said, "Are you okay if I turn on a recording device? It's going to send you the summary of whatever we discuss automated through AI." I said, "You may as well, because it's here to stick." So AI is just the most recent example, but even if you go back when Microsoft introduced Microsoft Office Suite, Excel, Word, PowerPoint, it was not only software industries who were using it, it was everyone else who was using it as well. So the kind of impact that you get to have on the lives of everyone around you, I think you're in a wonderful position being in the software industry.
Okay, thank you so much. I really enjoyed our talk and your advice that you had. So, yeah.
Thanks, Ishan. Good luck with your podcast.
Thank you. And if you guys enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe and share these videos to your friends and family. Thank you.